All right, guys. In this video, we are going to be talking about generators. Yay! And what makes a generator is that they have a defined sacral center and they do not have a motor center connected to the throat. We will be going over the types of centers. So if you're like, well, what's a motor center? Don't worry, we will go over that in a bit. But just know that a generator, they have the defined sacral center and they do not have a motor center connected to the throat center. And they are here to take action and do what they love. Like the generators, they are the like workforce of society, and they make up approximately like 30% of the collective. And this sacral center is a battery that is recharged with play and pleasure and joy and also rest. And the thing about generators is that they can be like the little energizer bunny. They can have like limitless energy. If you are a generator, if something like this could happen to you, you just find yourself getting wrapped up in something that you really enjoy doing and you end up like staying up all night doing something that you love. I am a generator type. I'm what's called a manifesting generator, which we'll go over in another video. But like I found that if I'm really reading a really good book, there was a time where I actually read 3 books in the course of 24 hours because I was so into that story that I just did not want to go to sleep. I just wanted to keep on reading, and my sacral um, center just recharged me, and I was able to like function the next day without getting much like actual sleep because I was doing what I loved. And the other thing with generators is when they find what lights them up, they can do it over and over and over again. So with generators, it can be, um, you'll notice with generators, like maybe they'll watch the same TV show over and over and over again because they just love it so much. Or listening to the same music, the same song, the same playlist, like over and over again because it lights them up and it brings them joy. Or they'll be really focused on one area in their life, or like me once they find what they love and like choose a career, they'll be passionate about it like forever, and just because they keep on enjoying doing it like over and over and over again. And because of this, they do master things with time because they can be like passionate about one thing. They tend to learn a lot about it and begin to master it. And these are the like characteristics that make a generator. And so then we have like each of the types has a strategy, and the strategy for generators is to respond to what's going on like outside of them, like responding to that external stimuli. So that's not always responding to an idea. Like if a generator gets an idea, like they can take it outside of them in order to generate that response. So if you're um that could be like a post on social media, but like I'm thinking about doing this, or I have this idea, what do you guys think? And then, yes, eliciting the response to other people around them, but it's more about how they are responding to what other people are responding to, if that makes sense. So, let's say you're a generator and you post online like, hey, I'm thinking about taking a vacation to Australia, and they have, a whole bunch of people comment like, yes, that sounds so amazing. Like I have travel tips for you, or I have, I stayed at this hotel and it's really nice, and I did this excursion and it's really amazing, and you should go snorkeling and all this stuff. But then, like, you as the generator, when you hear people saying that, you like, it doesn't feel good to you, even though everybody else is excited for you, but like you're in your body, you're feeling like, okay, maybe not. Then that's the response, like, to listen to is not like what everyone else is saying, but how you are reacting to what their response is. And ideas are also like magnetized to the generators. And the thing with the strategy is it's all about like responding and not necessarily initiating things. And this initiation, it's more about like having some sort of idea or something happening inside of you. Like, let's say you have an idea and you're like, I'm going to go on vacation to us, or I want to go on vacation to Australia. And then you immediately like book tickets. It's more about like, okay, I want to go on vacation to Australia. Like, how can I respond to something outside of me in order to decide whether that is something that's actually in alignment for me? And like generators with the strategy, like joy is their guide. Joy and what lights them up is their guide because they're guided by their sacral. And we're going to talk about this next week in the authorities videos, but the sacral can be like very moment by moment. And so it's okay if other things bring a generator joy. Um, they like tend to enjoy the same things over and over again. However, it's okay to have like multiple joys and have multiple passion. Like really give yourself permission to follow that joy. So then we have the non self theme, and the non self theme is frustration. And this comes from putting in effort and not feeling good about it. So this frustration can come from, doing a whole bunch of things, like that strategy of like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what fits, and like you don't see anything sticking to the wall, all the different tasks and everything. And like generators can become really frustrated with that. And like they can be frustrated if maybe they're doing something that isn't bringing them joy, and they're like feeling drained, and they're feeling like low on energy. um and that can be just something to look at. And that's the thing with these non-self themes. It's not to say that like anytime a generator is frustrated, that it's like an incredibly horrible thing and like you're so out of alignment and it's the end of the world. It's just something to look at. Like I think of it as like red flags in like when you're considering somebody, to date or get into a relationship with. It is just simply something to look at. It's not something that where it's the end of the world if this is happening. It's just taking a look, because it's possible to feel frustration for so many different reasons. And like when the frustration is coming from like not being in a strategy, and um if it's frustration from like doing something that the generators aren't loving, that isn't lighting them up, like that's definitely something to shy away from. Or but it could be that like their hands are tied. There's yeah, sometimes we have these like conflicting emotions. It's kind of like a magnet. You have your values, and maybe it could be, the generator is really struggling to put food on the table for their family, and so they're in a job that they don't love, but like it's something that they feel some sort of tie to. And yes, they're out of alignment with that job, but there can be like circumstances around it, and you can definitely like do the work to get out of that situation, because there's always something better. There is always a way out. But like sometimes it's just something where you know that it's just temporary and you're doing the work to get out of it, but it's just like being aware of it and having these simple mindset shifts. The other place where frustration can come from is from jumping in and initiating action. And like I said, like everything is meant to be a response, and these responses to things that are going on, like outside of you, it's meant to give us a pause. And generators, like they're meant to be in this feminine energy and that feminine flow. So it's all about connecting to your body, connecting to what feels good, connecting to what lights you up, connecting to that pleasure, and just following that and being in flow with that. Like, you can't see me, I don't have my camera on, but I'm like literally like swaying. It's like these waves of the ocean and just, responding, like being that, like, yes, you're energetic, but also just, being that calm little force that waves back and forth and gives you that sort of like feminine energy flow. And it's not to say like you can't be bold, but it's like generators, like you're more meant to be in your like your feminine flow energy and in your joy and in your pleasure. And then we have the signature. So the signature is when you are like in alignment. And this comes from doing the work and like feeling really good about it. And the satisfaction happens when every action that they take is flowing perfectly and effortlessly, and their excitement fuels them. So it's like this effortless like flow that's happening. And when they have this, they have continual energy to keep going and keep creating. Some generators that I know of are Manifestation Babe and one of my coaches, Amanda King. And I just remember, like, well, when I first met Amanda King, like, she was constantly launching and constantly going and constantly like running live programs, and she really enjoyed it. And you could just tell. And people were really incredibly attracted to that energy. And then I just remember from Manifestation Babe, like talking about the beginning of her business, like she was so into what she was doing. She was staying up late and like she had that energy to keep creating and keep putting out like program content. And it was like that from being in that signature of satisfaction, and it's stuff that feels good, like satisfaction. I always relate it to food, but it's, after you've had like a really good meal and you feel like really full, you don't feel overstuffed, you don't feel hungry, you don't feel like something's missing, but everything is just like perfect and it tasted really good, and like that oh, yummy yummy feeling. Like as a generator, like that's your signature. And to get more in alignment in each and every day, I encourage people to incorporate into their days each and every day like a signature moment. So generators, like finding something to do every day that brings about like that feeling of satisfaction, whether that's reading for 15 minutes to an hour, whatever, whether that's painting, whether that's going outside, like it's winter in the Chicago area here, whether that's going outside in the snow and just playing, whether that is like painting or coloring or doing a puzzle or playing a game or dancing, like anything that you can do every day that just brings you satisfaction, that's going to draw you closer and closer to in alignment. And that's when, like, as a generator, you're going to attract more. That's when you're going to draw in everything that you desire, is when you are in those signature moments, like more and more throughout the day. And you don't have to limit yourself to one. Like, ideally, like every day, you should be like in your signature energy feeling. And then each of the types, there's some like health and energetic maintenance information. I don't really know what to categorize this as, but like for generators, like pleasure and play is so incredibly important, and that like full body yes. And there's gonna be like a bonus video all around the like arrows in your chart. And if you don't always feel safe in your body, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just going to like preface this. Um, you can take a look, like if you have anything that's going on, like we can definitely like message me if you don't feel comfortable sharing in the group, but we can like work through anything. Like if you're not feeling safe, like we can definitely talk about it and see like whether I can help you with it or if somebody else can. But like like it's all about like feeling that pleasure and being in that playful energy like for the generators. And that's because the sacral center is a big battery and it's refueled by anything that is both pleasurable and fun. And you are meant to use up all your energy throughout the day. So going to bed exhausted is important for you, and eat what excites you. I have a typo there. Like eat what excites you. And so like with going to bed exhausted, like exercise can be like really important for generators. So but the exercise should be something that you love, and you'll probably love doing the same thing over and over again. Like it doesn't matter what kind of exercise you do, but just having it be something that you enjoy so that you're using up your energy throughout the day. And also like eat what excites you. That sacral center is like a big battery, and so you'll probably need to eat more like dense foods. And like in general, like I'm not big on the diet stuff. So if I'm a huge fan of intuitive eating, but sometimes like with my journey with eating, sometimes it's really hard to listen to your body. So you can use your human design chart as like a guidance if you're unsure, if you're like something doesn't feel right, I don't know what it is, like definitely you can do that. But like and in the arrows bonus video, we are going to go over like on an even deeper level some ways to eat that are in alignment with your design. But in general, like give yourself permission to eat what excites you, like ditch any dieting rules. Like a big one for me, I am a big fan of Diet Coke. Give yourself permission as a generator, like have that Diet Coke if you want it, have that coffee, have that piece of cake, like if it excites you. And like this can be like really hard, it's a big mindset thing. And maybe I'll create content around it later, but like ditching the mind, all the conditioning that you have around food, like if you aren't excited about the food that you eat, then it may not like digest well. And our thoughts, there is this like mind body connection. So what we think about food definitely does affect how we eat. So like with generators, eat what excites you, make sure you're eating enough so that you're fueling yourself so that you can expel that energy so that you can go to bed exhausted. um, that is what I have for the generators. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on this video, but I will see you in the next video.